there, Steve-Os. Welcome to Steve's Movie Wrap-Up, and in this episode of the Movie Wrap-Up, obviously we are now in December, which means that I am safely able to watch some Christmas movies. Now, over the course of the next few episodes of the Movie Wrap-Up, you can expect me to talk all things Christmas movies, as I am going to be watching some classic, some are even brand new for 2023 as well. So without further ado, let's start off with this week's episode of the Movie Wrap-Up. Let's take a look and see what movies I've been watching this week. First movie I've watched this year for Christmas pretty much is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. So it's always a joy every year in December to watch this movie, and I know recently there's been rumours that Jim Carrey will return as the Grinch for a sequel for the live action movie. However, these rumours are untrue. It was fake news, as Trump would say, but I always love watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas every year in December, and it will never get old. I just can't believe that he never got the woman that he fancied when he was a child, hence why he hated Christmas. But I will say though, at least he gets his Christmas miracle at the end of the movie, which is nice. I will never get over though how old this movie is now. In the year 2023, this movie is 23 years old. And that for sure makes me feel very old now. Next movie I've watched this week is Elf, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. I can't even tell you how many times I watched this movie because I have seen it countless times, but Elf, starring Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf, is such a fantastic and heartwarming story to watch at Christmas. The movie does also star Zooey Deschanel as well, who plays love interest Jovi. I never actually knew it was her until a couple of years ago. I mean, just look at her in the movie, then look at her now. I've always seen Zooey Deschanel with brunette hair in projects that she's done. I didn't know it was actually her playing the role of Jovi in this movie until a few years ago, and I was stunned by the fact, by that fact, by the way. So, but I do think she does a rather great job, and she does have a lovely singing voice as well. A fantastic movie, and one that I love to watch each year at Christmas time. Next movie I've seen is Christmas with the Cranks, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. It's not a Christmas movie without Tim Allen, right? I mean, he's done the Santa Claus movie in the past for Disney, and recently done the Disney Plus series, The Santa Clauses, but let's have a throwback though to Christmas with the Cranks, which came out all the way back in 2004, nearly 20 years ago. 20 years precisely next year, and we have Christmas with the Cranks, which stars Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes, the horror scream queen icon that is Jamie Lee Curtis. The movie is about the Cranks family, where the daughter ends up coming back home for the holidays. Little did the mother and father know this, while they decided to skip Christmas and go on a cruise. So before their daughter comes back home, they have to get back home themselves and get everything prepared for Christmas before she arrives with her new boyfriend in tow as well. I really love this film a lot. I have seen it a few times since it came out, but not as many times as I've seen other Christmas classics like Home Alone, Elf or The Grinch. But I do really love this movie a lot though, and I'll definitely watch it annually at Christmas going forward. Next movie I've watched is Jack Frost, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. One of my favourite movies to watch at this time of the year definitely is Jack Frost for sure. It's such a sad but heartwarming story though, which stars Michael Keaton, who is a musician and spends Christmas playing with his band, but as he tries to get back home for Christmas to spend it with his family, he's involved in a deadly accident after driving in heavy snowfall conditions. We then fast forward to 1 year later, and his son builds a snowman. Once the snowman is built, his son plays his dad's magic harmonica that he used to play in his band, which then brings the snowman to life and is the spirit of his dead father. I really love the concept of this movie. I love the design of Jack Frost the snowman as well. And I just love how heartwarming this story really is. It does have quite an emotional ending as well. Next little short film, should I say, that I watched was Mickey Saves Christmas, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. I remember this short film being released on Disney Plus back in 2022, and I did watch it in 2022 as well, but as it's Christmas themed and short, I decided to rewatch it again for 2023. It'll probably become an annual watch for me because the story is really lovely, and I particularly love the stop motion animation that they used in this as well, which I appreciate. I won't lie, this is probably targeted at a more younger audience, but hey, this is Mickey Mouse, and I grew up watching that mouse and his cartoons, so damn right, I'm going to watch a short Christmas film if he's involved in it. Now, just taking a quick break from watching Christmas movies and stuff like that, I have gone to the cinema and I have gone and watched the movie Wish by Disney, which, by the way, I gave 2 stars over on Letterboxd. I won't lie, but this was actually rather unexpected that I'm reviewing this movie right now, because I was going to wait until the film came out on Disney Plus, because I just had no intention on watching this in cinema. It was only when I was with someone and they suggested we watch the film, and there was nothing else on at the cinema that I wanted to watch, so I thought, yeah, why not go and see this Disney film? Besides, it was a movie with a 90-minute running time, and also as well, it was on my watch list on Letterboxd as well. So now you're probably gonna want to know my thoughts on the film. Now, first of all, the trailer. When I first saw the trailer, I was amazed by the fact that they used 2D and 3D animation in the trailer. However, when I was watching the actual film itself, I just felt like it was mostly 3D animation that the film was using, rather than utilising both 2D and 3D animation aspects of the film. The plot for me felt slightly weak, and I would also say that at the very beginning, I didn't feel threatened by the villain. You have Ariana DeBose and Chris Pine lending their voices in this Disney animated movie, and one thing that I did appreciate about this movie was the fact that this was a celebration of 100 years of Disney. In some ways, it felt right to watch this because we have all grown up watching Disney-related content in our lives one way or another, and there was a lot of references in here, particularly in the script, which references certain things in the 100 years of history that Disney has given to us, which was really nice to see. This movie did feel a little bit like Encanto, which I have seen before, and yes, we still don't talk about Bruno, in the way that it was a musical at times, which some of the songs I felt did work, but others didn't really, and they felt like they were going on for a really long time. But I will probably go back and listen to my favourite songs from the movie on the movie soundtrack itself on Spotify. I know I've given it a slightly low star rating here, but if I was to rate the movie out of 10, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10, because it wasn't great, but at the same time, it wasn't bad neither. I would just say that this movie is mediocre. Now that I have seen it in cinemas, unexpectedly, I probably won't rush to rewatch it again when it releases on Disney Plus over the next few weeks. I should also point out, this is the first family-friendly movie I have seen in cinemas since the situation I had with Trolls Band Together. Luckily, the screening didn't have hardly any children in the screening, and the screening itself was pretty much empty, so I didn't feel as awkward watching Wish than I did watching Trolls Band Together last month in cinemas. Going back to the holiday festive themed movies now, and we're back with Tom and Jerry, A Nutcracker Tale, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. If this was the Simpsons universe, this would be called Itchy and Scratchy, A Nutcracker Tale. But anyways, Tom and Jerry, A Nutcracker Tale is a great retelling of the Nutcracker, and uses the music from the Nutcracker all throughout this short film, which has a running time of just 46 minutes to be precise. I really do like this animated short film. I think it's great fun for all the family to watch around Christmas time, and the animation in this does feel rather fresh. I think at times it does utilise a little bit of 3D animation here and there, here and there, whilst remaining a 2D animated film. Anyone who's grown up watching Tom and Jerry will absolutely love this as well. The next animated short film that I have watched this week is Bah Humduck, a Looney Tunes Christmas, which, by the way, I have given 3 stars over on Letterboxd. It's surprising, actually, that I have never seen the Tom and Jerry Christmas animated movie or this Looney Tunes Christmas animated movie until now, but I really did love this one. It felt fresh, it got me in the festive spirit, just like the Tom and Jerry animated movie did when I watched that one, and it features a lot of the classic Looney Tunes characters that we have all grown up to know and love, such as Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny, etc, etc. They are all in this animated short film, and again, it does have the same kind of running time as the Tom and Jerry Nutcracker Tale one did, which is around about 46 minutes. The next movie I have seen this week is The 12 Days of Christmas Eve, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. I've never seen this movie before, and I've never heard of this movie before until now. It's one of those smaller Christmas movies that a lot of people probably have never heard of, and it's on one of those American networks in the States, like Hallmark or Lifetime. This is actually a movie made by the US network called Lifetime, and it does star Kelsey Grammer. So if you're a fan of his work as Frasier in the hit US comedy sitcom titled Frasier, then you'll love this. If you love his work as his voice work as Sideshow Bob in The Simpsons, then again you're gonna love him in this movie. I will say that if you're into those movies with the plot similar along the lines of other movies like Groundhog Day and Happy Death Day, then this movie certainly will be for you. It's probably the best way to describe this movie is Groundhog Day, but it's set on Christmas Eve and has a Christmas twist to it, I guess. But nonetheless, though, I really enjoyed this movie a lot, which when I first saw that this movie was one of those US network movies, which normally aren't great, I was thinking I probably won't enjoy this, but turns out, though, I did really enjoy this one a lot. This could become one of those holiday movies that I watch every year going forward at Christmas time. Next movie I've watched this week is Get Santa, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. Another movie which I've never really heard of and never seen before. Get Santa is an absolutely funny and hilarious British comedy movie that people will love to watch if they have never seen it before. And it's safe to say this will likely appear on your Christmas watch list every year if you're into your comedy movies, because this has definitely been added to mine to watch every year going forward. It's a British comedy with some really recognisable names in here, like Warwick Davis, Jim Broadbent, and Jodie Whittaker. Yes, the first female Doctor actress in Doctor Who, that Jodie Whittaker. They all star in this movie. I should also point out that this film came out in 2014. Next year, it'll be 10 years old. And yet, I have never really heard of this Christmas movie until now. But I am so glad that I have watched it. I should also say that this movie obviously came out 4 years before Jodie Whittaker became the Doctor in Doctor Who as well. I think Jim Broadbent did a fantastic job, though, at playing Santa Claus in this movie, and I definitely couldn't see anyone else who would be fit for the role as Santa in this British comedy movie than casting Jim Broadbent. A lot of people have heard of that actor or seen him in at least something. Fun fact, many years ago, he appeared in the TV show Only Fools and Horses, playing a copper that knew Del Boy years prior when they went to school together. Anyways, really fantastic movie, and I really enjoyed this one, and safe to say I'll watch this again next year at Christmas time. The next movie I've watched is A Christmas Story Christmas, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. You know what's funny about this movie? As I was setting up my Christmas watch list for Letterboxd of Christmas movies to watch and review over the holiday period, I have added A Christmas Story, which is the original movie that came out many years ago. A Christmas Story Christmas, which came out last year in 2022, is, so I have read, the 9th movie in this franchise, which I didn't know about, but this also happens to be somewhat of a sequel to the original movie, which I haven't heard of until earlier this year. And have I seen the original? Well, you'd probably think I have, given the fact that I'm reviewing this movie, but I'll be honest, I am yet to watch the original. Therefore, I have watched this all back to front by watching the most recent movie in the franchise first, while not watching the original until a later date. I am going to review it, by the way, the other one, at a later date. But nonetheless, though, did I still enjoy this movie? Yeah, I did. I loved the fact that throughout this, we have the main character of Ralphie narrating everything that goes on in the movie, which I like. And it follows him being a father at Christmas. In the original first movie, Ralphie was just a little boy and is also played by the same actor in that film as he is in this one, except for the fact that the actor is a lot older in this one, obviously. Really great film, and I do hope that the original one will be decent when I get around to watching that one at a later date. Next movie I've watched this week is This Christmas, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Wow. This film is absolutely wholesome. There was some really light-hearted moments in this movie where the characters did some dancing. They did it about 20 minutes in the movie, into the movie, and it seemed like the actors really were having a good time filming that scene. And then before the credits rolled, they did some more dancing again, and I think not only to say this is the end of the movie, but also to show that the actors doing this movie genuinely had a great time. You have got a great cast in this movie as well, from the likes of Regina King and Idris Elba as well. This is the first time that I've seen this movie, and I'll probably say the first time that I've heard of this movie as well. And this certainly won't be the last time I have seen this movie, because I'm definitely going to be adding this one to my Christmas watch list to watch every year. The film was rather heartwarming, and as I said at the beginning of this review, it's also a wholesome movie as well. Next movie I've watched is Happy Christmas, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. So first time watching this movie, which is titled Happy Christmas. The movie stars Anna Kendrick and Lena Dunham, and while the movie was filmed with this grainy feel to the movie, like it's something that came out of the 80s, which I love. And I will also say that Jude Sandberg is probably the best supporting baby actor in the history of cinema. Jude Sandberg, by the way, is the son of Joe Sandberg, who also stars in this movie as well. But let me go back to what I was saying at the start of this review. But this is called Happy Christmas. First of all, there wasn't really a lot to be happy about, particularly when the woman called Jenny, played by Kendrick, is dumped. She goes and stays with her brother and her brother's partner alongside their baby. But where on earth are the goddamn Christmas decorations? Where's the Christmas tree? If I said let's play a drinking game while we watch this movie and take a shot every time you see Christmas decorations in this movie, then safe to say you won't even be tipsy halfway through the movie, because there's hardly any Christmas references in this film. However, though, there is moments in this movie, though, where we see Kendrick's character and Jeff Sandberg's character getting high and spending some quality time together. All in all, it's an average movie, but it just didn't feel festive enough for me to enjoy. And I'm doing my utmost to watch as many Christmas movies as I can in December. This just felt a little underwhelming and a slight bit of time wasting. I could have watched a more festive movie than this. Also, why is there a scene in this movie where Kendrick's character is talking to 2 other female characters in this movie about sexual stuff? Seriously, this has nothing to do with Christmas at all. So the next movie I've watched is Last Train to Christmas, which I gave 1.5 star rating over on Letterboxd. So never have I ever heard of this film before. It's a British Christmas movie made by Sky, and is a Sky original, which here in the UK you can stream on the streaming service Now TV. But what the hell did I just put myself through for the last nearly 2 hours? I'll give credit where credit is due here, and I take my hat off to the filmmakers and the director for making this film possible. But while the performances from well-known cast members like Michael Sheen and Catherine Kelly were enjoyable to watch, but the plot itself, well, for me, I found the plot to the film a little weak for my liking. I love the fact with this movie that some of the some of it is set in the 80s, and it does have that 80s feel to it. Like the characters have got haircuts which were popular and not so popular in that time period, as well as the fashion that they were in the scenes they were wearing in the scenes set in the 80s as well. And at times there are moments where it does have that 80s feel about it as well, especially with the way it's filmed as well. But then we see the main character played by Sheen go on this magical adventure which shows a various different different parts of his life. Now that's the thing that I really didn't like, because at times it kind of got rather confusing going back to the 80s every now and then. Even though I have seen this one for the first time ever this year at Christmas, there is a likely chance that I won't be watching this one again next year as a Christmas film, nor would I be recommending people to give this one a watch over the festive period. I mean, I will be honest with you, there are times where they do go into like this kind of modern kind of era of the character that Michael Sheen was portraying, but I did love the fact that there was times when they were going back into like the 80s kind of part of the movie, and the aspect ratio just kind of came in. That was pretty awesome. I did enjoy that. I will give them that kind of, you know, that kind of a positivity review there. But the film itself, though, for me, I found it to be quite confusing, and yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it to anyone really, because it just, for me, I just didn't like it. Next movie I've watched this week is The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, which I gave 2 stars over on Letterboxd. So Jack Whitehall, Keira Knightley, Helen Mirren and Morgan Freeman star in this Disney retelling of The Nutcracker. I will say that this isn't the best movie that I have seen, and so far this holiday season I have seen a few retellings of the story of the Nutcracker, but I will say though that with a stacked, well-known cast, I do appreciate what they were trying to do with this movie. I remember seeing the trailer for this a few years ago in the cinema, and I was going to watch it that year, which I believe was in 2019. No, it was 2018 when this film came out. But I never got the opportunity to watch it, and it has been on Disney Plus since its release. But again, I just haven't had the time to watch it over the last couple of years. So I am glad that I managed to watch it now, but the only disappointing thing about this is the fact that I didn't really enjoy it as much as I was hoping I would have. The next movie I have watched this week is This Is Christmas, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. You know what's funny about this movie? The last Sky Original movie I watched was set on a train. This Sky Original that I watched is also set on a train, well, at the beginning of the movie anyways. But I will say that while this is a Christmas rom-com, it does at times have those cliche kind of moments to so that you would usually find in like a rom-com, not just a Christmas rom-com, but in your everyday average rom-com movie. I have a question. Why is it, right? Why is it? And so why is it that the average couple in movies first meet each other by bumping into one another, and one of them is holding paperwork or something like that, and then they both proceed to pick up the item that one of them has dropped? Does this really happen in real life? Is that where I'm going wrong? Do I need to casually bump into a woman who's holding something and then look deep into her eyes after picking up the item she's dropped for me to get a date with her? And well, anyways, it happens a lot in these kind of movies. Yet this Christmas film was, to be honest, a little average for me. There was nothing really special in here that caught my attention. However, though, I will say that there are the odd chuckle moments here and there the audience will enjoy, and I will say that there are some heartwarming moments in here as well, which can be appreciated as well. Next movie I've watched this week is Prancer: A Christmas Tale, which I gave 2 stars over on Letterboxd. Never heard about this movie before until I discovered it on Now TV here in the UK, but nonetheless decided to give it a watch. Besides, it has Christmas in the title, so I thought this would be a great film to watch at Christmas. Firstly, James Cromwell stars in this movie, and for me, I think he is the standout in the movie, alongside the young actress that plays the character of Darcy as well. I thought she portrayed the role of the granddaughter rather well too. But as I said earlier in this review, this has the Christmas name in the title. However, though, similar to another movie I've watched recently, despite the fact that it does have Christmas in the title, it doesn't really feel Christmassy at all. The only thing that this has to do with Christmas is about the fact that there's a reindeer in this called Prancer, who, as we all know, is one of Santa's reindeers. But aside from that, I think this is the only reference we get to this being Christmas related. Anyways, was the film any good? Well, it was better than the poster looked when I first saw the poster. I thought the movie itself may have been terrible, but it does have some heartwarming moments in the film, which I did enjoy watching. But I don't think this is a movie I'll be rushing back to watch again next Christmas. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got the poster next to me right now. I mean, you look at this poster and you kind of go, well, I mean, this movie is questionable. I mean, is it really that great? I mean, I can't promise you now, okay? Like, comparing that to the poster, it is somewhat good. I mean, I probably had a couple of posters up in this video so far, right? Which you guys have probably gone, what made you want to watch this film? Because the poster itself doesn't look great, you know? But there is some moments in the films, though, despite the posters, the way how the posters look to you guys, right, there is some moments in these movies that I can say are enjoyable, and I do enjoy watching them. So it is questionable, but it is still a decent movie despite how the poster does look. Okay, next movie I've watched this week is The Shepherd, which is actually a brand new Christmas movie for 2023, which, by the way, I've given 3 stars over on Letterboxd. So a lot of people on Letterboxd say that this short film titled The Shepherd should have been longer, maybe about an hour and a half, rather than the 40 minutes that we got. And while I do agree with a lot of Letterboxd users here who have already reviewed this, but after seeing this myself, I can safely say that I really appreciate this for what it was. The Shepherd is a short film set around the holiday season, which recently released on Disney Plus around the world, and is also set during World War II as well. The short film does star John Travolta as well, which was nice to see, but I will say that despite wanting this to be slightly longer than what it was, I did enjoy this short film a lot, and it is one that I would recommend people to watch over the holiday season, particularly as this title is a newly released Christmas title for 2023. The next movie I have watched this week, and again it's another brand new Christmas title for 2023, is There's Something in the Barn, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. A new Christmas movie for 2023 has dropped, and I saw a trailer for this just a few days ago before watching this Christmas movie. And while some fans of horror aren't fans of horror comedy, whereas other horror fans are, I would recommend those who love horror comedy to give this a watch. It does have a lot of humour throughout the movie, which I love a lot, and I remember watching the trailer and it was kind of described as National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation meets Gremlins. Now, while I haven't seen the Christmas Vacation movie yet this holiday season, nor have I ever seen it before, which is why I'm going to watch it during the holiday season and review it at a later date, but I definitely have seen Gremlins loads of times, and again I will be watching Gremlins at a later date during the holiday season, because without fail every year I always watch that movie. But I can understand the concept this movie takes from Gremlins, and despite never seeing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you get some idea of the concept they have taken from that movie as well. a family go on a family vacation to Norway for the holiday season, where inside a barn in the house that they are staying, there is something in the barn. Now, while it does take a while for this movie to really get going, but I promise you, despite how funny this movie is throughout the running time, in the last 40 minutes of the film, there is absolute carnage and there is absolute chaos all throughout the movie. This is definitely a holiday horror movie that I will recommend people to watch over the holiday season. For sure, because this one was really good and I had a fun time watching this one as well. Next movie I've seen is Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. First time I've watched this Christmas movie, and at first I could have sworn the characters were speaking in English, and then it turns into a foreign subtitled movie. So if you're going to watch this, it does have English subtitles, so you know what the characters are saying in English, but just don't get distracted for the hour and 20 minutes this movie has a running time for, because you may end up getting lost as to what one character said to another. However, though, this is a wonderful Christmas movie that I really enjoyed. This is classed as a horror movie, but as a horror fan myself, I would use the term of horror loosely here, because there's nothing in here that will make you go, God, that's really scary, or God, that's really frightening. However, though, the relationship between father and son in this movie works so well, and you can feel the chemistry and love bouncing off both characters really well in this movie as well. I know I've said this a lot in my most recent Christmas movie reviews that I have done, but there is some heartwarming moments in this, which I think you would tend to usually find in a lot of Christmas movies anyways. It's a great movie with some really stunning visuals, and one that can be appreciated enough for people to enjoy. Next movie I've seen is Krampus, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. So I'm going to add this to my annual Christmas movie watch list. How has it taken me so long to discover this horror comedy? I had so much fun watching this movie. I had a really good time with this as well. Toni Collette stars in the movie as the mother called Sarah. For those who don't know, this isn't the first rodeo that Toni Collette has been on in the horror genre. She's played the mother in the movie Hereditary, so can we please just give this actress a break as a suffering mother in a horror movie, please? I am begging the writers at this point. But a really decent horror comedy movie that I really enjoyed from start to finish. And as I said at the start of this movie review, I will be adding this to my watch list to watch every year at Christmas. I should also point out as well, there are some really creepy moments in here as well for horror fans to enjoy. Next movie I've seen is Love Actually, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. So this is definitely one of those movies that you have to watch every year at Christmas, regardless whether you like rom-coms or not, right? This movie is tanked full of cast members that you will recognise, especially as this is a British movie with so many talented British actors and actresses. You have the likes of Emma Thompson, Martin McCutcheon, Chris Marshall, Bill Nighy, Colin Firth, Andrew Lincoln, and so many more famous British faces that you may have seen in other projects beforehand or after this movie was released. But this movie, though, for sure, is definitely a Christmas classic that we all know and love, and will forever be seen for generations to come as an instant classic Christmas movie. I know that this movie is over 2 hours long, but along the way we have so many characters which need to be developed and have their stories told. All in all, though, a really great film, and one that I have seen before and am not ashamed to say that I have watched before as well. Okay, next movie I've seen this week is The Holiday, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Kate Winslet, Jude Law, Cameron Diaz and Jack Black all star in this Christmas rom-com. I swear I don't watch I swear I don't watch rom-coms all the time. It just appears that at Christmas time there are a lot of classic Christmas movies that happen to be rom-coms, unfortunately. But, however, though, I did somewhat enjoy this movie. Sometimes, though, it does feel like it's 2-hour running time in some scenes, though. But I do think the supporting cast that we do have in this movie, from Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law and Kate Winslet, all did a fascinating job in their respective roles. I will say the soundtrack to this movie is pretty awesome as well. Another classic Christmas movie which a lot of people tend to watch every year. I've watched so many Christmas movies this week, it's been unbelievable, but this is the last Christmas movie I have watched this week, and the last film I've watched this week as well, which is Jingle All the Way, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. I'm going to quote the movie here, "Put the cookie down!" I absolutely love that line from this movie. Jingle All the Way stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Phil Hartman in this feel-good 90s family-friendly Christmas movie. This is actually the second time this holiday season that I have seen this movie, with the first time being at the very end of November with my friends as part of a Christmas movie day we were having. We were just in the mood to watch some festive movies, but I will say though that Arnie's character, who happens to be a father in this, has some seriously bad parenting, not being there for his son, not making time for his family, and even lying to his wife about getting his son's Christmas toy that he wanted for Christmas. However though, before I start getting hated on, he does end up getting some redemption in this movie for his bad parenting, which I appreciate and I love. He ends up becoming the hero that his son has been looking up to, and the toy of that hero his son has wanted for Christmas. Now, there is some seriously funny moments in here. There is also some really creepy moments with the neighbour as well, who is played by Phil Hartman, who, by the way, sadly passed away 2 years after the release of this movie. And fun fact about the actor, and I thought his voice was rather recognisable when I first watched this at the end of November, but he used to voice Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz in The Simpsons back in the 90s as well. I knew his voice sounded so familiar, but also in this movie as well, there is some light-hearted, wholesome moments as well, which I really do love. In conclusion to this review, this is definitely a Christmas classic, one to watch every year for sure, because it's just a fun time with some feel-good moments to enjoy over the festive season. So that is all the Christmas movies that I have watched this week, regardless whether they're new, old, or movies that I have seen before and I've rewatched them as a repeat rewatch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, over the next couple of weeks on Steve's Movie Wrap Up, I am going to be talking a lot more about Christmas movies as we go further into December, as we get closer to Christmas as well, because there are so many more Christmas movies for me to watch. I think I've got roughly around about 80 to 90 odd movies left to watch before Christmas Day itself, so there is going to definitely be a lot more Christmas movies being spoken about in my movie wrap-up videos over the course of the next couple of weeks. So I hope you guys can join me for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys really did enjoy my thoughts on each of the movies that I have watched this past week. Obviously, Steve's Movie Wrap-Up will be back for you again next Friday, which will be, the date will be, what date will that be? It will be the 22nd of December. So I've got a Christmas wrap-up, a Christmas movie wrap-up video coming up on the 22nd of December, and then I'm going to do another movie wrap-up video for you on Boxing Day as well. Okay, so, and again, hopefully by the time we get to Boxing Day's video, I'll be talking about the last Christmas movies that I've managed to watch. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to hit that like button if you have. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. What Christmas movies have you been watching and enjoying so far this festive season? I would love to know your thoughts. And as always, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, to become a Stevo, particularly if you are new around here. So obviously, as you can tell, over the last couple of nights, I have been uploading my 12 days of Vlogmas videos, and of course tonight is no different. This video is obviously going up at its usual time of 4 PM UK time, but I have got my next video coming up at 9 PM UK time this evening, which is, of course, my next episode of Steve's 12 Days of Vlogmas. I should also very quickly point out that Sunday's 12 Days of Vlogmas video is going to be slightly delayed. It's probably going to be released on Monday the 11th of December, quite early. No, Monday the 18th of December, sorry, quite early in the morning. And the reason being is because I am going to be going out that evening. I am going to be doing a little bit of vlogging as well, as I'll be out for the evening, and I will want to include that in that day's Vlogmas episode as well, okay? So Monday the 18th of December, there is going to be 2 episodes of Steve's 12 Days of Vlogmas. One uploaded in the morning, and the other one obviously being uploaded late in the evening, okay? So there we go. So apologies for the delay there, but of course I want to give you guys some great content to watch over the Christmas period. Right, anyway, that's all from me though. Goodbye, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.